Hello, welcome to Execute Nutrition University. We're in weekly webinar module 4, week 1. And today we're going to talk about specific nutrition needs, vegetarianism or plant-based diet. As we know, is a good topic and it's been talked about a lot nowadays as protein believed to be the bad guys. So a lot of people resort to what is called plant-based diets. Plant-based diet is essentially a vegetarian or vegan diet where, based on religious belief or environmental belief, or maybe to health, again, to a lot of bad media going around and saying that plants are necessarily better than animal product, basically put out the idea that we do need or we will get a benefit on just eating protein-based diet. There are a few challenges that when faced on eating just plant-based diet, and pretty much only 2 or 3% of the population are able to follow it because obviously either based on our blood type or DNA or genes, we cannot necessarily be able just to eat plants or fruits or anyway not animal products. Obviously, for those people that are able to follow that diet, it could be bringing a lot of benefit from vitamins, mineral, phytonutrients, antioxidant, essential fatty acid compared with meat-based diet. However, it has to be clear that protein will for sure be low and lower than compared to a animal protein or animal diet. However, again, not necessarily we don't need to substitute or supplement as if almost we wanted to make a high protein on as we used to eat like a animal diet. What we're going to have to do is simply accept that there is going to be less protein, and again, as people, we need regular people, we need just 0.9 gram of protein per kilogram of our weight, of our body weight. So again, if a person is 200 pounds and we divide by 2.2, we get pretty much 90 something kilogram. And if you think about it, we need like 0.9 or 1 gram per kilogram with 90 gram of protein a day, we would be fine. So we do not necessarily need to eat as much protein as we would to again, as we were to eat that. So for a few people that are able to follow this diet, is definitely a good thing to do that. We don't have to confuse the recent belief to the fact that we think that meat or animal products are bad and we are vegetarian. There is usually two types of vegetarian, and what I don't want you to confuse, what I want you to confuse is the fact that you can be a vegetarian, but again, there are the processed food type of or junk food type of vegetarian, which is trying to avoid meat at all costs, and then there are the plant-based vegetarian or again or vegan that basically really looking for healthy choices instead of just eating something, instead of avoiding meat, where they're really trying to either juice or do any type of good diet plant-based compared to the one that just get processed food, grab whatever they can grab so long as it doesn't contain animal product. Here we have the types of vegetarian. We got the vegan, which basically they don't eat any animal food. We got a lacto-vegetarian with the exception of dairy. They also don't eat any food coming from fish, meat, poultry, red meat. Then we got the ovo-vegetarian, which is basically the one that only eat honey and eggs. Again, honey. This is well, honey is really like still coming from the bee, but not the same level as would be eggs. So I mean, lacto-ovo is the one that basically it would be pretty much still having some dairy or eggs. And again, there are a few that the poultry and pescatarian is the one that like either to eat fish or white protein or skinny protein or lean protein. We still have to, I believe, the most important thing for further consideration, depending on what we want to do, either we want to lose weight or maintain weight or maybe gain some weight, obviously we have to look at the basic requirements. So still we go into to the idea that there is, even though we saw that calories don't really they're not the whole full equation, they will still need to see calorie in against calorie out if you kind of want to lose weight. Because especially when you are doing a non-animal diet, there is going to be a lot more difficult to provide extra calorie when you want to maintain or gaining weight. So this is definitely a diet that could help people that want to lose weight, because it's very, as we heard this expression multiple times, it's very hard to get fat on fruit and vegetable. If we only need fruit and vegetable, if we do eat fruit, specifically fruit with a combination of starches and fat, then it will be much easier to gain weight, because the excess of fructose, even taking a different metabolic path, that glucose will still provide a lot of fat deposit. And as we saw in research, 25 gram or more of fructose basically go directly in a fat deposit when it's not, when it's combined with different food. So it's again, we go into a here you want to lose weight, you just go low calorie. You want to maintain, you want to try at least to get to the metabolic demand of your metabolic demand. And then if you want to gain weight, it's going to be really hard on a vegetable diet or plant-based diet. We will definitely have to get some kind of vegetable protein powder or some version of eggs or milk or anything that can provide extra calorie. The protein is probably the hardest, as we saw, I was saying before, to increment into this kind of diet, because we do need to mix a couple of nutrients together in order to make the full protein, as well as again the amino acids, which is basically the building block of the protein. We have 22 we need to have for the full protein synthesis to take place, and only 11 our body can produce, and the other one we do need to take from other the nutrition and obviously the biological level or biological availability, that biological value that the animal protein has. Obviously the plant cannot provide. So if you want to make a full protein, one of the combination that is pretty clear to me is the one with rice and beans that would make a full protein, again non-animal, but we would have to take in consideration that we're getting a lot of fat and carbs both from the beans specifically and from the rice together. So we're not only getting the protein, but we're getting a bunch of other stuff together, as well as mineral, of course. So it's not really indicated to as far as somebody wanting to lose weight specifically. As well as peanut butter and bread. Any type of bread with peanut butter will provide a full protein. However, again, we're getting a bunch of peanut butter have good fat, but also some carbohydrates, and obviously fat and carbohydrates together provides a lot of calorie. And the bread as well. We know, everybody knows what the bread does. So again, either we supplement with any kind of either way. In this case, way would still be for some people consider animal, because this is a remainder of the cheese, or any vegetable protein would do the job as well. But again, we don't want to substitute. We just simply want to make sure we have enough protein for our need. Something I don't suggest, except for getting maybe a few, I don't suggest to use soy protein, because soy as well has been provided with the research that not only can be somehow linked to tumors or any other bad diseases, but also hormonally it helps producing a lot of estrogen, which we don't want to obviously do if you're looking for a weight loss. Carbohydrates here, we want some carbs in the diet, obviously. We have to look again not to put too many carbohydrates and maybe not combine them with fat, as I said. Carbohydrates here we can go. We're going to have a full webinar just for carbohydrates. So again, if you didn't see that, I would like you to refer to that, because carbohydrates is really complicated on its own, and can be treated. We can talk about it for like a full hours and explain the low glycemic index and the high glycemic index, and explain the fact that now research shows that it's not really up to the glycemic index anymore. For a person can be high glycemic index, and another person the same kind of food can be low glycemic index based on the enzymatic pools. So therefore, it's really up to an investigation work to see which carbohydrates or starches or sugars work well for your health and works well for keeping you skinny or getting you to gain weight, unwanted weight, I imagine. The fat, again here, fat provides 9 calories compared to the 4 calories per gram that we have on protein, and carbohydrates. Fat provide 9 calories per grams, but again, it doesn't enhance insulin, which doesn't really necessarily increase hormones and make you fat. So fat, contrary to people's beliefs, doesn't make you fat. And again, we have a full webinar just on fat if you want to refer to that. Here I would just like to include some healthy fat, obviously the nuts, dairy products. Again, if you want weight loss, I would stay away from dairy unless you are type B on the blood, your blood type B or AB, which is kind of like good for dairy. All the rest I would definitely stay away from dairy. Important to ensure high quality of sources of fat. So again, choose wisely. Avocado is good, nuts are good. Oil, any kind of olive oil is good. We want to put that in fish. If you want to supplement, you can do fish oil. It's very important to keep that in the diet. Let's go back to the micronutrient again, and again we want to something balanced. Many people don't eat enough fruit and vegetable here, and again, if you come in with the idea that you want to get fruit and vegetable, what I want you to do, at least 50 to 70% of that should be coming from those fruits and vegetable, and the rest maybe you can think about supplements if you like green powders, if you like vegetable proteins, but at least again those kind of percentage should come from the basic food. And I will give you, if you're not in my program yet, I will give you all the visual as far as protein, as far as macronutrient, as far as fruit. Whether fruit and vegetable, which are the best choices compared to carbohydrates. Obviously the lowest number will give you a less impact on insulin wise on your body. Therefore, I will provide all this guide for you. For example, the berries are the best fruits, lower number of carbohydrates in there. With the vegetable, there are some vegetables that are very, very low on carbohydrates. Again, I would prefer those, obviously, or you make a mix of everything with the vegetable. Make sure to include all the colors as well. Again, supplements only should come by 30 to maximum 40%. Make sure you get real food. And also make sure that to ensure that you have all the mineral necessary, make sure to hit all the colors of the rainbow here. And also I'd like to make the importance to hit single ingredient food only. Don't go ahead and mix up or get processed food and and think that you are on just because you're not eating meat, that's healthy. Just get real food and mix and match all the color. That will provide for sure that you're getting all the vitamin and minerals that we need. Dehydration is very important, not only for this diet, but for everybody. Research shows that 70% of the people are dehydrated, and we should be hydrated for almost the same percentage. 70 to 65 to 70% of the body is water. The muscle need to be very dehydrated in order to keep the water in the right places and to make sure that fat loss takes place. The cells, if they're not the right hydration, they implode. So less cell, less muscle, more fat. So again, we want to make sure that not only we learn how to drink, but we want to make sure that we keep, when we learn how to drink, we having the right type of lifestyle, then we produce the right type of things. And again, here there should be just a lesson just for water, because water is so important. But some vegetarian are not consuming dairy product. Keep in mind that if you're not consuming dairy, there is always this idea that you can get hazelnuts or oat or rice or coconut milk, or any kind of base milk that will help you at least have your body feel like you're getting some kind of milk if you do need milk. How you learn how to drink, if you don't want to drink all at once, doing small little sips at every meal. Keep in mind that the amount of water should be based on calories. If we have like a 2,000 calorie diet, we should at least get 2 liters of water. So it's like 1 calorie times 1 unit here. So 1 calorie times one unit. So we have like 2,000 plus 0.4 for each protein that we have. Therefore, like if we're getting 90 gram of protein times 0.4, we'll get the amount of extra water we need for this protein to get basically washed out from the what is it called, from the for our kidneys to work better. Therefore, we need 0.4, let's say 0.5, and we got, let's say we got like I said, let's say we have here 90% of 90 gram of protein. We do 0.4, we get like 36. So 2 liters and 360 deciliter of water. So 2.5 liters, let's say 2.5 liters each day. Intolerance. Let's if you do have some intolerance that builds up with a variation of diet sensitivity, and you might be allergic or intolerant to some fruits, some vegetable, make sure to reduce not all at once, but make sure that you either do a test and see what you're intolerant of, or just reduce 1 ingredient at a time or 1 food at a time. Don't like take everything off, because you're not going to be able to know where the real intolerance come from, and pay attention, because let's say you reduce something, one food, it's not gonna tell you if you feel better tomorrow, but again, the allergy sometimes builds up after like a week. So you might eat something today, and then like you feel like crap for the next 2 days, and you feel like crap, but it's not what you ate the day before, it's something that you ate like a week before. So again, we have to like take in consideration of that as well. How you can build up a plan. This is basically something I come up with. You basically take in a service of protein service for amino acids, then you heat up for essential fat, and then vegetable again. So this is usually you start with protein and vegetable, 2 couple of meals with vegetable and protein. Post-workout meal can be with amino acid and some starchy and carbohydrate. And again, depending on what kind of results you want to have, you're going to add at the meal number 4 some more carbohydrates and healthy fat and vegetable and protein. Or you're not going to add carbohydrates if you want to lose weight. Optional, before going to sleep, if you have a hard time falling asleep, you can add some carbohydrates and some healthy fat, like for example peanut butter, that has been proven to help when you want to fall asleep. And again, if it's really depending on the purpose you have here. Here, the food plant-based choices that you can have. I just came up with some idea here. Obviously, you can basically take off from this this thing that provides you stable. Here it says what kind of good carb we have, what kind of like best or very good choices you can have from here. Or this is a full plan. I'm gonna let that off for a while. You can either stop the presentation right now and really see what is in there. You can either, depending on how many meals you want to do a day, you can take off the snack, or you can take off the 2 snacks. You can leave it to 5. I suggest when you, especially when you have a believe like a slow metabolism, or like you really have to lose a lot of weight. If you are used to only eat 2 times, try to eat multiple time. If you're like already used to eat multiple time and you feel like you're getting weight, or like, you can try to take a meal or 2 off and see how it works for you. Obviously it's like again, it's a detective work a lot, and here it's just some idea you can take and plug in and plug out. And again, you can just refer to the table before. You can get the protein and the carbohydrates, and you can take one of the or other ingredient, you can plug it in and see whatever works for you. But this should be pretty much what it looks like. And again, you can use multiple idea. You can do substitute shakes, you can do super shakes, you can do with all the different powders. You can take the one of the PDF I always send out and just look all the table, the protein. You can choose whatever protein you want. And protein necessarily, like I said, usually if it's not one of the one that I just showed before, is a combination of 2 or 3 grains. And again, if you wish to go more in detail, feel free to reach out to me and get a more specific idea, recipe, as far as what you like to see as far as protein. But try to include a little bit of everything, and keep in mind the protein is going to be low no matter what. And here we have somebody that has 3 training days, cardio days. You can see that I just did not give you like a meal plan based on like a regular person are working out, but he's an exercising person, exercising basically 6 out of 7 days. So you have like a lot of choice here. Supplements, there is a number of supplements here that you can follow. Make sure to include all these things that might be deficient due to the fact that you're not eating meat or fish. So omega-3, which is fish oil, that always are lacking. Vitamin B12 we needed to make sure the protein synthesis happens. Therefore, if we don't include it, we do need to supplement. And green powder, make sure it's a lot of again, vitamins in there, calcium and vitamin D. Vitamin D is very important. It's very important to assimilate it with the sun as well. So it's not just getting the pill down, but we need to assimilate it as well. Here we have some places you can actually find these supplements at. I have tons, even newer website that you can go and see, comparing with the price, especially if you are not in the US area. Something I'm working very closely right now, and I really suggest is BioTrust, and I have you can contact me as far as if you're on my email list, you're probably getting emails all the time, and I like you to suggest that you're getting those kind of supplements, because those are the only supplements that you will have like 100% money back guarantee up to a year. So it's the only supplements you can basically buy, try it out, and if you feel like it's not getting the money forward, you just call them up and they will refund your money basically. So again, this provided different nutrient-dense option who wish to take it. If you want to go more in detail, just see me or contact me telling me that you want that. And so this is pretty much it all. And if you have, again, any kind of question, just hit me up here or in the next few days. And thank you a lot for hearing this presentation.